I'll never move again. Never. In the fall of 1968, my first family and I moved from a rented house in Tempe, Arizona, into our first owned home in Phoenix. It was only about 10 miles away, so we could make numerous trips with small items in the car. But for the large pieces, the furniture and appliances, we needed to hire a professional mover. Reluctant as I am to spend money, I checked prices with 6 or 8 local moving companies, finally decided on one which was not even listed in the yellow pages. A friend at work gave me their name and number and told me they were cheap. Indeed, their price was by far the lowest. The morning they showed up to do the move, I almost had heart failure. Instead of a traditional kind of moving truck, they arrived in what appeared to be a small train. It looked like the kind of baggage moving system the railroads used to have in the old days. I remembered it from the occasions when we went to the station to leave on a trip or to meet an arriving relative. On the platform would be a number of flat, open baggage cars with wood slat sides which could be linked together and pulled by a tractor. Well, our movers had a similar setup. A string of open, flat, and very decrepit-looking carts, hooked together like elephants in a circus, trunk to tail. The lead cart was attached to an ancient pickup truck. It was not a sight to inspire confidence, especially in my wife Rita's mind. "What in the world have you gotten us into now, Ted?" she exclaimed with a look of alarm. The 2 scruffy moving guys, unshaven and with soggy cigarettes dangling from their lips, proceeded to load our belongings onto their carts, tying everything down precariously with old frayed ropes. The carts had no sides. When all was aboard, the boss, a lanky, red-eyed man with one leg shorter than the other, climbed behind the wheel of the pickup, his 2 helpers in the seat beside him. After some difficulty getting the engine to turn over, he finally got it started as it hiccuped erratically while belching clouds of black smoke from the exhaust. Gradually they pulled away from the curb to begin the trip across town, never exceeding a speed of 10 miles an hour. We drove behind them in our car on the lookout for chairs or dressers, which we were sure would at any minute break loose and come tumbling into the street. The carts lurched and swayed and threatened to tip over at every dip or rough place in the road. But fortune was with us, and our stuff made the trip without damage. At least the price was right, and it was a lot more exciting than the moving truck would have been. Since that move, I've managed for the most part to avoid the situation. When Rita and I split up, she got the house and all the contents. At the time, she thought I was being generous. Little did she know I was just avoiding another household move. 10 years later, it was the same scenario with Darlene. You might say my philosophy has been never get too firmly entangled with old books, overstuffed chairs, toaster ovens, or wives.